Good evening, Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, as well as our other streaming outlets. And I must say, this is going to be an excellent episode with In the Trenches with Early Educators. This is actually episode 7. These weeks are flying by. We have a very, very good show that we've been sharing, myself and this young lady, been trying to get together for about a month now. But things happen for a reason. So hopefully, while everybody in the Northeast is snowed in right now, they
Mhm.
will come to the show and get some insight to a very special young lady that Sharon has been talking about for quite some time. What's up, Sharon?
Hey, Quentin, how are you?
I'm great. I mean, it's a good thing. I'm back, and one thing about doing the shows is that even though I can do them remotely, it's nothing better than doing them from your home and on that hard line. Because even with good Wi-Fi service, sometimes when it's Wi-Fi, the shows could be a little crazy. But I'm great, and I'm good. Things is happening for a reason. As you say, your 2021 vision board is looking great right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the show. Of course, you know me. I'm Sharon, author and educator. And a couple of shout outs like I do every week. Well, not every week, every show. The intro beat was done by my middle son, Marcus Allen Beck, otherwise known as Mark underscore the producer on Instagram. So you can get at him on Instagram if you are interested in getting some music, beats, studio time if you're in Atlanta, all those great things. So I have a special shout out for a sponsor tonight because of the topic of tonight's show. So you want to be an entrepreneur. I have a mentor and he is amazing. He has a daily, actually 7 days a week, mentoring call called Dear Millionaire. And he is part of the reason I'm where I am right now. And so you can text at Milmind, Milmind, to the number 81010, and it will automatically give you the information you need to join the call. His name is Haziq Ali. You can find him at Haziq Ali on Facebook and on Instagram. When I say amazing mentor, and he specifically mentors and targets entrepreneurs. So he is an amazing person to listen to. So jump on that call. If you do get on the call, if you ever unmute yourself to speak up, make sure you tell them that Sharon in Atlanta put you on the line. Okay.
Great.
So one more thing before we introduce our guest, I should have had some music queued up. It's
Drum roll.
beginning to look a lot like Christmas. And I have some special gifts for people today if they take advantage of it very quickly. So I am having an event. All right. And my guest is actually one of the speakers. Vision 2020, the ECE Leadership Network is hosting its first event of the year, Vision 2021, and Roadmap to Destination Success. And it's all about visioning for your business, for your life, for your career. And it is going to be virtual this year. Last year we were live at Maggiano's. This year will be virtual. And I have some scholarships just for our listeners. So what's that special code? What's the code we always use every time we have something special for our listeners? What do we use? Quentin? No. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Okay. So the code you're going to use, all capitals, one word, no apostrophes. Let's talk. And the website it's an Eventbrite website. So it's destinyedevents.eventbrite.com. And so when this is downloaded and everything, I will make sure to put the link in the comments. Your ticket will be a gift from me. It is absolutely $0 and 0 cents. So I have a limited number of scholarships available. The coupon code is Let's Talk, and you will get a ticket to come to the virtual event on January 30th at 10 a.m. in the morning for Vision 2021.
Great.
Boom.
So that's a scholarship.
Yes, sir.
Great.
I'm an
Great.
educator. I give scholarships.
That's
Great.
right.
So Sharon,
Mhm.
you said this young lady is going to be a guest speaker. Who is she? I mean, who are you, young lady? What's your name?
Oh my gosh. You know what, Quentin?
Hello,
Okay.
everybody. My name is Tiandra Fields. I am located here in Houston, Texas. And let's see, I do a lot, but my heart is in education, especially early childhood. I really, really like dealing with people in the transitional stages of education. So when it comes to early childhood, that's my love. But when it comes to those teachers, that's my second love because they're the ones that have to deal with those early childhood educators. And I mean, those early childhood kids, those kids at that age. And I have an undying passion and love for children. Maybe it's because I don't have any. I have so many. They just have, I always say I have some, but they're not of my womb. They have other parents. But yeah, just
So Tiandra, could you, if you don't mind,
Mhm.
yes,
Hold
Sharon?
on. She forgot a very important thing about herself.
I am an edupreneur. And I am a best-selling author for In the
That's
Trenches.
right. She is one of the original 9 in the first volume, Tiandra Fields. So I just wanted to make sure we pointed that out. All right, go ahead. Go
Well, I
ahead.
did, Tiandra. One of the good things that I did just get both copies of the book,
Mhm.
as well as I have one of the books that's on. I downloaded the first the first book, and I haven't. I've been running, and I will. I'm a very avid reader. But
Mhm.
if you don't mind, could you just tell myself and the audience some background, like where you from, your educational background, where you grew up at?
Okay, so again, I'm Tiandra Fields. I am originally from Fort Worth, Texas. Um, I stayed in Fort Worth, I would say, majority of my life growing up. But however, when it was time to go to college, I left and I didn't look back. As my mother says, if you look back, you're going to run into something. But I felt like, I had an amazing life growing up. I stayed busy in everything, cheerleading, gymnastics, dance, modeling, music, anything you can do, you name it, I did it. And so just taking that on, it made me think that I was going to be so much more because I actually went to school to be a doctor. Yeah, didn't pan out. Then I thought I was going to do computer science and wasted 2 years of that time. And so somebody said, you ought to be, a teacher because, you've always taught the little kids when they came to Sunday school. And when I did dancing, I taught the little ones, as the teenagers, they have you to come back and teach the little ones so they can save money. And so I was just like, no, I'm good. I want to make some money. Teachers don't make money. And the more I got into computer science, I realized I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And so it took me doing a final exam in computer science. And I had an anxiety attack. And I realized that at that point, I couldn't live the rest of my life. I did not want to do that for the rest of my life. So I said, oh, well, let me go be a teacher. That's easy. And not realizing that when you speak certain things, they come about, they manifest. And so I spoke that teaching was easy because it was something that was natural. However, when it came to my career and my income, I didn't really think that that's what it was going to be. So in the trenches, I talk about how I didn't choose teaching. Teaching chose me. And so with that came a whole lot of experiences. And, I put God at the forefront of everything. And knowing that the different things that I experienced in my, personal life as well as my teaching career, it really brought me clarity as to who I am today, why I'm here, what my journey is, because, you get a lot of people, I'm 40 plus now. Actually, I'm 21, celebrating my 21st 20th anniversary of that. But with that, a lot of people, they, especially with 2020, they're leaving this earth and they don't know what their journey is. And so I've been blessed and fortunate to kind of have an idea. 7 years ago when my mother passed, I really didn't know, what I was going to do. I called myself finding myself. But then throughout that process, my creativity kicked in, and I was just like, how do you find somebody who's never really been lost? And so just keeping that in the back of my mind, I'm just like, okay, I'm not lost. I just need to clarify some things.
So let me ask you. Let me ask you. I got you now. We talking now. I got you. Have you had that one easy day yet teaching?
Actually, I have. I did. And actually, that was a turning point into why I quit teaching. And I talked about it in the book.
So let me, I got a lot of questions because I could conversate. So if I seem like it's cutting you off, please accept my apology now, because you seem to be a very engaging person and you know how to sell you, like we were discussing behind the scenes. When you say stepping into yourself, you realize your purpose when your mom passed away. So you're happy every day with where you're going.
Yes.
In the journey.
Yes.
I ask that because a lot of times we don't appreciate the journey until we get to the goal, and then you look back at the journey, and it's interesting that you're appreciating the journey. You're appreciating the journey as you're going along the way. So tell us about you leaving education.
So again, God, He knows. He knows exactly what He's doing. He sets things up for certain reasons. But so that one happy day that I had is funny. It was actually October 14th, 2011. So in teaching, yeah, at 2:35 p.m. Like I got it down to the day and time. So this particular day, okay, so let me give you a quick backstory. I've always been known to be the teacher who's a disciplinarian. I have those old school, values when I teach. Nowadays they don't know what to do with the kids, but me growing up, it was one of those when your mom gave you that eye, or she did a little hand movement or a certain movement with her face, you knew, okay, I need to straighten up and get it together or I'm in trouble. And nowadays, these kids, they test you and they take you to different, they just try to push the boundaries just to see how far they can go. And so every year, of course, my children, they push the boundaries every time they get an opportunity to. And so in the outcome, I'm always able to get them where they need to be. And so it got to the point after 13 years in elementary school, parents recognize that. So I had waiting lists for my classroom. But of course, along with the good comes the bad. You get that administration. They get a little jealous. They're not going to say they're jealous, but they're going to do little bits and things to kind of, just kind of tit for tat type things. And it was kind of getting on my nerves. But, I was too close to home. So I said I wasn't going to leave. And this particular year, I really was kind of fed up the year before. And so this particular year, they gave me, I swear, I think they gave me all of the kids in second grade that had behavior issues, special needs issues, just everything, right? Problems at home. They gave me everything. And they, of course, the kids going to try to push the bar because they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're being kids, right? But at some point, I got tired. But I couldn't show the kids that because that would be showing my weakness. So during the first couple of months of school, I was tired. I was tired already. By the second week, I was done. I really wanted to just leave. But I had a commitment to those kids to finish out the year. And so with that, I had just days and days that they were just really testing my patience. And this one particular day, October 14, 2011, every single child was the best behaved the entire day. The kids who didn't know stuff, they were answering questions right. By this time, we're having fun. I'm tossing out Jolly Ranchers and Starbucks. Like, I'm excited. I'm like, oh my God, we done went through the whole day. And, we had a good day. Right when it was time to get ready for dismissal, I get a phone call. Miss Fields, can you come to the office? Calling me to the principal's office. So they send somebody to my room. I'm like, can we wait till after school? No, it's very important. When I get to the principal's office, she's like, sit down, sit down. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I'll stand up because I'm excited. She doesn't know why I'm excited, but I'm excited just because of what happened for the day. And she was like, no, sit down, close the door. And I was like, oh my God, okay, what is it? And she was just like, I'm tired of hearing your name come across my desk. And I was like, oh my God, what is it now? There's always something. And she goes, you're too happy at work. Say that again. She was like, you are too happy at work. Those words is what drove me away from teaching because I couldn't even believe it. I said the best day that I had in my entire career, because that was the hardest. That was the hardest group that I had. And you tell me I'm too happy at work. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. I lost it. I lost it.
Interesting. So you received a phone call or email during COVID from this beautiful co-host of ours, and were asked about this being one of the authors in this book. Tell us about that experience.
So I think I was probably maybe the third person that she had kind of tossed the idea. I didn't even know what the book was going to be about. I was just like, sign me up. I'm in. I had no idea what it was about. And when she said something about tell your story, I was like, I don't really have a story. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe I do. But yeah, just sign me up. I don't even care what it is. It's you, Sharon. Like, that's my business partner. That's my girl. So, she didn't even have to ask. And I jumped in head first. And going through the process, because I had already kind of had an idea for my own personal book 2 years before. But again, with the journey that I'm walking, it just wasn't time yet. And so just going through the process, I really learned a whole lot more about myself than I thought. And they told me, you're going to have times that you're going to be happy. You're going to be sad. You're going to be angry. And I'm like, well, no, I'm not. That's my story. But I felt everything. And when I say everything.
Let me ask you, Sharon likes to say, and you guys have earned the right to say best-selling author. So that title is something that's earned, and you should introduce yourself as that. Do you think that the book, now when you look at it, and then you're able to read other people's journey and story, and going forward to now we're at the end of the year, do you think that the book and explaining your story has changed you in any way?
Absolutely. Honestly, in my personal life, it's changed me. Because, the whole, of course, now, even with COVID, the whole dating thing it's weird because now you're finding the thing that people didn't want to do the most, which was meet people online. You're doing that now. And so even with both of my degrees, and I tell everybody I'm working on my third degree, my PhD in being me is the one that I'm working on. I'm gonna get a real one too, but I work on my PhD in being me every day. And so it's one thing saying, oh, I have a bachelor's, yes, I have a master's. But when I say now I'm a best-selling author, I feel different when I meet people. I feel like, at first it's like, oh, okay, you're a doctor, you're a lawyer. Oh, and I was just an educator. Maybe I'm not qualified enough to talk to you. But now when I say I have a book, They're like, oh, and I'm like, yes, and I have another one coming out, and I have a couple of more things coming out, and I'm a coach, and I do this and I do that. I feel different. I notice I feel different. I walk different. I talk different. I actually do more for myself. I've shown myself so much self-love this year. It's amazing. So much
So,
I'm writing a self-love planner.
so that is beautiful. You're a very engaging person. So that leads us to literally the title of this episode. So you want to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Um, not to quote. I love to kind of quote movies to get people comfortable. Sometimes.
Me
So
too.
you have a unique set of skills, as Brian Mills, aka Liam, what you call said in Taken. You have a unique set of skills.
Mhm.
Explain to the audience what you do with these skills and um, what are you the projects that you're working on and how can you help myself in the audience.
So I am what they call an edupreneur. Yes, you want to be an entrepreneur, but I am an educator first. And I love to merge the two together and create other educators who want to be entrepreneurs and just show them how they can go hand in hand. As teachers, outside of, classroom time, we don't have a lot of time to do other things that we really want to do for us. For those people that have families, if they're not doing schoolwork, they're doing family. And then you have those people who they do schoolwork at work and they bring it home. And there's just never enough time to do anything. And so understanding that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. It's not. It really is not. And it is definitely a mindset. But in order to understand that, you have to really, really get those research hours in. Because coming out of the classroom, it wasn't an easy step. Yeah, I spoke it. I spoke that I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I knew that I could command people's attentions with my voice, but I didn't believe it. And so I had to shift myself into a certain mindset. And with that came a lot of conferences. It came a lot of, just listening to mentors and people, online and reading books and all the things that I needed to take time to do, but I didn't have that kind of time when I taught in the classroom. And so for me, putting in all of those hours, I now feel like I am a master at what I do when it comes time to transfer from educator to entrepreneur, getting those foundations and those transition steps. And I told you I like transition, right? So being able to help people kind of transition. No, you don't have to quit your job, but you want to start your own business. You first have to know how. And so there are so many people out there, they're just, they put things out there and they make you pay for it. And so the people who pay for it, yeah, they're still going to leave a few things out that you still have to take time to research. Well, with what I'm doing, I'm giving the educators exactly what they need to go from point A to point B. I'm not trying to move to point C and D and all that just yet. We have to learn how to get from A to B. And so with that, I've created a project a few years ago that I'm actually launching in January, and it's called The Blueprint to Success. And it's a very easy 4-step process. It really can go for pretty much anything, but I feel like it's the first step to the rest of your career in trying to be an entrepreneur. Well, no, I'm sorry. I don't use the word try. So let me stop that right there. Try is to fail with dignity. So attempting or working on being an entrepreneur.
What do
So
you?
that's entrepreneur.
Let me ask you. What do you think when a person says, I want to be an entrepreneur, you know, um, I want to have my own business. We know that a majority of people may say that just for financial reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to ask you, what do you think is the biggest obstacle with putting the theory into practice?
Knowing what you want to do. Because really it's about that one thing. And when you realize that you can do so many things, to be able to narrow it down and create and find a niche. I like to say niche, but the word is actually niche. And, or am I saying it right, Sharon? Niche. But anyways, I've always been, told by one of my mentors, niches get riches. And so everybody thinks that entrepreneurship is something that, hey, I'm going to get rich overnight. I'm going to be a millionaire. It takes a lot of hard work. And that's why it's not for everybody. And I feel like, yes, you can speak that you want to be an entrepreneur, but the work and the research that you have to put into it, that's what separates the people. That's what makes people, see if I really, really want to do this, or, I'm going to get knocked down. I'm going to get back up and be resilient and keep going to be this entrepreneur.
Yeah, because I find that interesting that a lot of times, let's just use Jeff Bezos for example. Like I said, I'm an avid reader, knowing that Amazon started basically from an online bookstore. So a lot of people look and say this man became the richest man in the world overnight or less than 15 years or so. And they don't realize the work. They don't realize him going to these investors, getting people to invest in him, getting told no by people that was close to him.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't see what they go through behind the scenes. And it's just like we sometimes compare ourselves to other people when they may be quote unquote overnight successful. And I'd realized from experience that having that theory and having that idea in your head, having all these great aspirations, and then a person has a block that they don't want to put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think that that's an easy thing to do, is to tap into that from an individual? Like I said, a client comes to you and you say you're, as you say, an
Entrepreneur.
edupreneur, come to you with a million ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's how do you go about trying to pull that out of a person? I know each individual is different, but what would be like one of your tactics to try to get them like, yo, you got to put some action? Sharon, your phrase?
Put some action behind that desire and just watch.
Exactly. So how do you get that?
So, and I'm glad you asked that, because that's actually the first part of the blueprint. It's called Think It. And so you first have to be in a certain mindset. And we do a lot of mindset work just to get you to understand that what you're doing is not going to be easy. You're going to have to trust the journey. And if you're not up to trusting the journey, to be able to even think about what you want to do. So, yeah, a person can come with a million ideas, but we can only start with one.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like having two hands. You can only do one thing at a time. And so when you put that focus into the one thing, you then can do other things later. That doesn't mean that you don't have to do those. We have to find the one that's the best thing right now. Because, of course, you want to see a return on their investment. So it's like you find the one thing that helps you get money right now. Okay? And then you do it until you become a master at it. And then you can pick something else up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sharon,
Yes, sir.
how did you meet this treasure? She's a wealth of knowledge, a mountain of information. How did you where's this connection? This beautiful network that you have established, Sharon?
We actually met, what is it, about 4 years ago now, at
Almost 5.
Ironically, the One Thing conference. A mentor that we both followed. We were at the conference, and I don't know whether it was what it was. I think it was like go out to lunch with somebody you don't know or something like that. And she and I met. We talked. We went out and had lunch together, and it's history since then. I was drawn to her energy because very bubbly, very, Tiandra's not a stranger. So very easy to talk to. We had lots of business ideas, and this woman is brilliant. When I tell you, we sit on the phone and come up with all kinds of training ideas and projects just from conversation. So she is absolutely amazing. And I feel so blessed to have met her and for us to have continued our friendship and our business relationship over the years.
Yeah, you said something interesting, Sharon, that made me smile.
Wow.
I always say that the stranger is the only person that you haven't met yet.
Yeah.
So it's good that you
Oh, well,
established
I don't
that.
know, because my thing is I don't meet strangers.
No, I mean you
That's it.
haven't met me yet.
Yeah.
That's
That's
why you're
it.
a stranger.
Right.
So so
One-
so what I was gonna say. Oh, you took my thoughts again. Woo.
That's okay. So
Yeah,
I
let
want
me
to go.
throw it
I
back
want to
to you.
go. I want to go back to something for just a minute,
Yes, yes.
because I've been on this journey for a while, and I haven't made my million yet, but it's coming. But I think that because of the internet and because of all of these people out here who are selling and saying, you can make $10,000 a day, and you can make $10,000 a day. Number
Mm-hmm.
one, though, you have to believe that you can. Number one, but before, that's why Tiandra said it's a mindset. Before you can ever make $10,000 in a day, you have to believe that you can. So that's why a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people will never get there, because they don't believe that they can. They believe
Mm-hmm.
they can make $100 a day. They believe they can make maybe $300 a day. They might even be able to squeeze and make it to $1,000 a day. But $10,000 in a day, the other piece that they leave off when they're doing their advertisement and everything, and I'm not bashing them because they put in the work, but they're coming to you as a polished, wealthy entrepreneur who has put in all the work. They don't tell you how many years it took them to get to where they
Mm-hmm.
make it seem like they got there overnight.
Mm-hmm.
You do this without even building a list. And, they tell you all these things. And so people who don't know are listening, and they're like, oh my God. So then they buy into it. Then there's nobody to walk them through it. And then they feel like, okay, this is impossible. This can't happen. Never mind. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It does work. But as Tiandra said, you have to be, number one, you have to be open to being coached. Hey, Kev. You have to be open to being coached, and you have to be open to shifting the way that you think, because
Mm-hmm.
we're employees. You cannot run a business, you cannot be an entrepreneur and still think like an employee. You will never
Exactly.
succeed.
Exactly.
One of the things, and I just remember what I was going to say. One of the things, and Sharon, maybe coming up in the future, you need to have a show on this.
Let me write it down.
You mentioned something. Both of you guys mentioned something that you have as well as I have myself. I have too. Tell me, both of you guys, and Sharon, we discussed it a little bit before. How is having a mentor change you guys' lives?
Oh, wow.
Mm. Ooh. So it's funny that you say that, because you always think of a mentor being somebody that you talk to on a regular basis, that you pass ideas to and they pass things back. And so when my mother passed, that was my first big shift. And I would ask my question, that was my biggest cheerleader. Yeah, my dad is my cheerleader, but my dad, I'm a lot like my dad too. He's a risk taker. So when I look at the motivation and the mentoring side, I used to ask myself, well, now that my mom is gone, who motivates the motivator? Yeah, I can pour into people all day long. But when my tank runs empty, who fills me up? And I always thought that it had to be somebody that was tangible, that I had to
Mm.
talk to on a daily basis. But as I began to read and, discover all these people online and, hear their stories and not to compare, but just to hear, to motivate me, I understand that, number one, let me just say this. Do not compare yourself to anybody. Comparison, one of my motivators taught me this, Tareya. Comparison is the thief of joy. When you spend your time
Say
comparing
that again.
yourself, comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm.
Because think about it, when you find yourself comparing yourself to people all the time, how do you find time to be happy for yourself? You know, you can't really celebrate other people when you're not celebrating yourself. And so I realized, even just in doing my classroom, I could never ever celebrate what I had accomplished or what mine looked like, because I was too busy looking at other people. Oh, they're already finished. Oh, that's nice. Maybe I need to change mine. And it would be my mother that would come in and say, stop, trust yourself, trust your own journey. Like, okay. And then I would get it done. It would be amazing. And so when it comes to people, you know, getting those mentors, understanding that those are the people that you need to have in your ear. Because when I say that first step is to think about it, that mental, that mindset, those are the people that you have to think about. What are you listening to every day? You know how you ask me, do I watch TV? I don't. I do, but I pay attention to what I'm watching. I pay attention to the things that I'm listening to. I pay attention to what I'm listening to when I'm in my car. And so I got to the point to one day, like I was feeling myself. I said, I don't need to hear this motivator today. I need to record my own voice and start listening to myself. And I did. And I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow, that's me. But with that, there's levels to mentorship, because as you begin to grow, your mentorship needs to change. Now, yes, I followed all these great mentors that I couldn't invest in at the time, because, yes, as an entrepreneur, you have to be ready to invest in yourself. This thing does not come cheap. It does not come free. Some things do. And if you're smart enough to pick up the nuggets, you can do something with them. But I pick my mentors according to what I can invest in at the time. I keep a small handful. I keep the one that motivates me. I keep the one that I can afford their programs. And then, I move on. And then now what I'm starting to notice is they all have the same mentor. So I'm like, oh, I'm winning. I'm winning. Yeah.
Sharon,
so, yeah, it is a mindset.
Yeah. Sharon,
yes,
do you have something to add to that?
Yeah, well, the whole Millionaire Minded call is a mentorship call. I was put on by a friend of mine about 4 years ago, and he teaches some nugget of information that you need every morning. You get information about how to become a better you so that you can be a better entrepreneur, a better business owner. And like Tiandra, I don't have a whole lot of mentors that are tangible that I just pick up the phone, hey girl. Although I do have people in my life who do that. So I guess in some ways, sometimes mentorship comes from people that you don't necessarily look at them as a mentor, but you're being mentored by them when you call you want to vent, or you call with a question. But as far as the people that I follow as mentors, a mentor is just someone who you can look up to, who knows more than you do about something that you're interested in. Yeah, and you have to have them in your life. You just need them, because
I find it interesting about mentors. I have three. Just to give you guys some. Sharon, I think we talked about it before, but I have three, Tiandra, and it's very interesting. It's two of them are women, and one is a guy. They're all older than me. They're seasoned, as they tell me. And I'm gonna be honest. What has allowed me to accept them as my mentor and allowed me to grow, I believe in some ways, is being brutally honest about a lot, about where I, my vision. And I'm not going to say it's not always easy. I'll just say that sometimes we're okay with being in our comfort zone. So you need that mentor to make you feel uncomfortable with what you allowed to be comfortable.
Absolutely.
I know that Tiandra, how you pronounce your name again?
Tiandra.
I'm looking at the way it's spelled, and I'm trying to change the way it should be pronounced.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
You gotta learn my name. You gotta say my name. I'm a global household name. You have to say my name.
One of the things that you said was your mentoringship changes as you grow.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even know if I was listening or not. Do you think that you now when you look back at it, uh you would have been to this point where you're at in your life without a mentor?
Absolutely not. Nope, not at all.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I just think,
Mm-hmm.
mentorship is
But it's funny what you say about them being brutally honest because the one that I have that's tangible,
Oh.
she looks at like she has told me before, and it was a couple of years ago, and she was right. As much as it hurt at the time, she was like, "Baby, you have a bunch of great ideas, and they're gonna make you millions someday, but you're just not ready." I was like, "Okay." And and so now I understand why they give those first sessions for free because if they would have charged you,
yeah, look, they
come
reel
on
you
there in
in. They
tears.
reel you in like you a big fish. And then when you start getting hooked, they like, look, I ain't gonna keep giving
Right.
these tools out.
Right. And I mean, but the thing is, like, number one, that mindset, when you're all over the place, everything sounds good. You try to jump on everything, but you cannot do everything. And I realized at the very beginning, I was trying to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was something as simple as tell me who you are. Oh, what did I say? I said I used to tell people I am a chronic entrepreneur. That's what I used to tell them. Because every time I turned around, I was signing up for something. I signed up to Mary Kay. I signed up to do the coffee business. I signed up to be a travel agent. I was just signing up for stuff because I was looking at the people at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them seem to have gotten there overnight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't until I stopped and started to learn their backstory. And I was starting to see them in certain companies, and then they go over to this company, and they kept telling that same story. And I started like, see, I love a good puzzle, so I'll look at stuff like Criminal Minds. I love to put together a good puzzle. And I was just thinking, like, wait a minute, they set that up, but wait a minute, yeah, they had their story down packed, but I'm just like, that's not how you got to the top over here. You just brought them over here, and you just like that's not fair. And so I'm over here spending all my hard-earned money, just trying to be like y'all, and y'all telling me stuff that ain't even true.
Now, let me ask you. Now, saying that, now you are a best-selling author
Mm-hmm.
with aspirations to do more writing. Do you think that you would be able to take the person on that journey from cover to cover? Because sometimes the journey ain't always pretty. That part of the book might get boring. The struggle, the not having no money, not having being able to pay your bills. Don't nobody want to hear that. Everybody want to hear the success story, like you said,
Right.
because that's not in the in the good juicy pages of the book. How are you think? Do you believe that because of your experience and you seeing it trial by error,
Mm-hmm.
that now you could paint a beautiful picture where a person could really understand that, yo, to get to point C, you got to go through A and B.
Absolutely. Yes, I can. And actually, it's funny that we're talking about in the trenches because that's exactly what it is. The trenches are not always nice. And so being able to understand that the trench is your journey, whether it's above ground or underground, you have to learn to trust that journey no matter how it looks, because of course we all come from different places and different backgrounds, and we're all attempting to get to the same goal or similar goals, let me say that. But to get there, I would never, ever, ever paint a picture of it being easy, because just as you said with the mentors, you need somebody that's going to be honest. They're going to give you the real deal. 100% talk. And that's what I like about what I do. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna bring out the best in you so that you can make that journey. Now, I mean, if you choose to, transition easily, okay, but not everybody does that. And so you need to be ready mentally to get over those obstacles when they come, because there will be obstacles, no matter how beautiful you think your life is, there will be obstacles. Even in just telling your own story, there's obstacles. So let alone trying to build a business, that's even more obstacles.
Mm. Okay. Well, you need to give this audience your contact information, because you know what they say. You are your first CEO.
I am.
So how did anybody get in touch with you? I mean,
so
okay.
the name of my company is Educate to Motivate Resource Services. I feel like you got to know better before you can do better, but you got to know better to do better, right? So before I can educate you, I first got to motivate you. I got to, I have to engage you and to let you see if you're even interested in what I'm offering. Because I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I tell everybody I can either be some tea, whiskey, or milk. So the whiskey, I can put some hair on your chest. The milk, I can soothe you and put you to sleep like a baby. Well, the tea, I can just calm you down and help you to, clarify. I prefer tea because, my first name, it begins with the letter T. So I like to, just really help people clarify their thoughts through speaking. So for me, I feel like Educate to Motivate, when I was given that title in my dream, I had to make it come true. So therefore, and of course, the resource services, that speaks for itself, because I'm a plethora of resources, even though I didn't think I was at first. But just, meeting Sharon and just a lot of other key people in my life, I realized, my net worth, I'm rich. I'm worth more than $1 million because of the people that I'm connected to. And so being able to, have time to, explore, their backgrounds and their lives, I'm able to create my own. So I am going to write down my information. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram under my first name, but I need to write it down because I don't want anybody to mess it up. You have to learn my name. And it's easy, Quentin. It's just like it says, T on Dra.
There it goes. I'll put it back on the screen.
All right.
Yeah, so you don't have to write it out now, girlie. So
what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do my email, because all of my stuff is transitioning for the 2021 year, because we all thought we had this wonderful perfect vision for 2020, and we see how that turned out. So I'm helping people create a new vision for 2021, and so therefore I kind of had to shift and redo some things and get myself situated. But
can't see it.
I don't know if you can see that. That is my email.
Well, educate motivators at gmail.com. Educate two as the number, motivators at gmail.com.
Yes.
Say my name. Well,
and so what I want you to do is, I have the blueprint coming out in January. So I'm actually giving a scholarship. We educators, we love scholarships. Yay! But I am giving a scholarship that has never been heard of. Very, very low. I'm not even going to mention it. If they will just text the word or put in the subject line blueprint and then leave me their information, I will definitely get back to them, and the first 5 people will receive the scholarship.
Well, I hope my audience is on me. But let me ask you a question. One of the things, Tiandra, is I like to have fun.
I love to have fun.
Well, just let me tell you, So this is the portion of the show
Okay.
where it gets a little crazy.
Oh Lord.
Should I be worried?
Why was you looking for these notes before the show started?
Ah, did you just tell? So
Full disclosure. Full disclosure.
You
Oh
didn't
my
need no
gosh.
notes. You didn't need no notes.
I know, but I'm one of those people. I like to write things down because my mind is always thinking and creating something. And so, I don't know.
Once you write it, it's there.
It's,
That's why you write things down.
It's actually funny. I actually keep a pen and paper with me at all
I write
times.
down everything. Like I got notes posted up all in front of me.
Listen,
what I do.
I really, really appreciate you. I love your energy that you brought to the show tonight, as well as the last time. A lot of people didn't see you. We were just behind the scenes of the studio 2 weeks ago.
I appreciate you having me. I'm gonna tell you another reason why I was really nervous. This is my very first podcast. So I just wanted to make sure I did a really good job. And yeah.
You did an excellent job.
Just be you.
Sharon, is there anything you need to follow up on before we close out the show?
Of course, Quentin, of course. So again, wrong way. Get at my girl, Tiandra, at educate2motivators at gmail.com for her blueprint. It is an amazing workshop. And if you are thinking about what you want to do, it kind of helps you bring some clarity and get started. And then don't forget, all right, she's giving away 5 scholarships. I'm giving away, I don't know how many. We'll see. Let's talk. All caps, all one word is the coupon code. Go to destinyedevents.eventbrite.com and it is free 99. Free 99. All right.
Tiandra, stay on when we close out. I need to discuss some things with you.
Okay.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Listen, we appreciate you guys tonight. Appreciate the audience. Hopefully, everybody that is afflicted with this storm is remaining safe, as well as COVID. Got to continue to stay vigilant, stay safe. Try to protect your family, whether you're anti-vaccine, pro-vaccine. Just do what you need to do so you don't try to be in as best health as possible. With that, we're gonna close out episode 7, and we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. I really appreciate you guys, and you guys have a safe night.
Thank you.
Merry